Well, first off, it's very weird to record a video in the morning. I almost never do that. Obviously, the big news today is that Daniel Jones has been named the Giants starting quarterback, and of course, I had to make a video for that. So the Eli Manning era is over, and it's very hard to believe, honestly. It's been from, I tweeted it was November 21st, 2004. So, of course, today, September 17th, 2019, almost a full 15 years. And, honestly, I've been very hard on Eli Manning the last couple of years, and for obvious reasons, I've explained myself many times, but now that it's here and he's on the bench, it is pretty sad. I wasn't like jumping for joy this morning like it seemed a lot of people were on Twitter and stuff like that. I was actually kind of sad about it, but it makes sense based off, the joy that Eli Manning has brought into my life as a sports fan. Not only the two Super Bowls, that's the obvious. The way he played in the playoff games. You talk about the 2007 game, the NFC Championship at the Packers, how freaking cold it was, and Eli Manning was still in there and taking hits and still making the throws he needed to and stuff like that. And of course, the San Francisco game, the NFC Championship in 2011, how he was hit every play it seemed like, and he kept getting up, and there's that shot of him with like the crooked helmet trying to call timeout. It was just an amazing performance. And the Super Bowl performances as well. You can't overlook those. The throw to Manningham in 2011 down the sideline was just incredible. Obviously, we had the Tyreek catch, and I still don't know how Eli got out of that, but he did, and it was an awesome moment. But just, there's countless memories of Eli Manning and the joy he's brought us. And of course, Eli's the type of quarterback that makes you go like, oh, like, what are you doing sometimes? But, I think for the most part, he's brought us more joy than sadness in his 15 years as a Giants quarterback. So, we have to thank him for that. But, on to Daniel Jones now. I'm very excited for him. He should get the final 14 games of the season unless he just happens to play very poorly, which is what we don't want. But, next week he'll be, where are we at? I think we're at Tampa, 1 o'clock Sunday game, I believe it is. 4 o'clock. Okay, 4 o'clock at Tampa Bay. Tampa's defense has been a little better this year than I expected. So, I still think they're an average defense at best, but still it's not like a bottom 5 defense like I expected. But, I wasn't expecting it to come this week, honestly. It's kind of weird that they did it on the road, but it's not against a great opponent. Tampa's defense, as I said, it's better than I expected, but still not great. So we'll see what Jones can do against them. But, I think this is the right move. It had to happen. It was inevitable at some point this year that it was going to happen. I think the Giants' plan was to have a good season and play with Eli throughout the whole year, but it just wasn't the case. When you start out 0-2 and you have all the media coming at you and saying, like, where's Jones? It gets to you eventually, so the Giants kind of had to make this move. And do I think the Giants will all of a sudden be this amazing team with Jones as starting quarterback? No, I don't. I think I would say the limit for this team is to be an average football team this year. But at the same time, there really was no upside or really any point in playing Eli Manning anymore. We kind of know what we were getting from him at this point, and it's sad because I saw a stat yesterday of the top offensive lines this year. I forget what the metric was exactly, but it was a positive metric, and the Giants were top 5 in it. And, for the last few years, everyone said, like, oh, well, Eli Manning just needs an offensive line, or you hear Eli Manning just needs a running back, or Eli Manning just needs a tight end, or maybe you heard, like, Odell Beckham was the problem, and then we saw it this year, and it just was not the case. He still wasn't playing at a good enough level. I don't think Eli looked terrible this year, but, it's only 2 games, and he wasn't playing well enough to win games for us this year, unfortunately. So, look, I'm not trying to say the reason the Giants are 0-2 is because of Eli Manning. That would be a very stupid thing to say. But Eli at the same time was not excelling in his performance. You know what I mean? It was obviously it's the defense's fault the Giants are in this 0-2 hole. But at the same time, Eli Manning needs some blame as well. I went back and watched the game yesterday. The Bills won, and there were some throws he missed and some decisions he made that could have cost them the game. There was a dropped pick 6 by the Bills. He made another bad throw in there. There was the Giants were up 7-0 at this point. They were around midfield. He overthrew Evan Engram on a ball, and the Giants could have went up 14-0 on that drive. So Eli Manning deserves some blame as well for the Giants' 0-2 start, but I can't put everything on him. Obviously, it's the defense that's been the major issue this year, so you just have to acknowledge that. But yeah, from here on out, I mean, I expect Jones to be all right. I don't think he'll be great, but I don't think he'll be terrible either. There will be some mistakes, and if Jones comes out and throws a couple interceptions this week, like, you can't be like, oh, this guy sucks all of a sudden. Like, that's honestly the way I evaluate rookie quarterbacks, and this is just me. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but the way I evaluate rookie quarterbacks is I really don't pay attention to the negatives. I kind of just look at the positives because they're bound to make mistakes. I mean, if they're making these same mistakes next year, then that's a problem. But right now, I'm only looking at the positives. And I mean, it might be a dumb way to look at it, but like it's the transition from college to NFL playing quarterback is obviously it's very different. So I'm only looking at the positives for Daniel Jones, honestly. I mean, I think the one concern I have with him right now, obviously, is the ball security. Obviously, we know he had a couple of fumbles in the preseason, or I think a few fumbles in the preseason, and then when he played in Dallas, he had that fumble. So that's the thing I'm concerned about right now, but it's easy to fix. I think he'll be fine, and he'll learn how to hold on to the ball more and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, yeah, I think the Giants from here on out have a chance to be a 500 team. I'm not expecting much better, but all we need to see is Jones improve throughout the season. Everything still stands. I mean, I didn't expect the change to be this early. I mean, my bold prediction video, it's not too bold, but I had Jones with his first start coming against the Cardinals in week 7, I believe it is, after the Patriots game, but now it's in week 3, so the Giants really had their back against the wall. They had to make this move, and the media was very loud. And I think, honestly, Pat Shermer wanted to make this move, and I don't know what Gettleman's thoughts were, but it really all came down to John Mara. I think Mara was the final decision here. I mean, he knows the backlash about the last decision to bench Eli Manning for Geno Smith, which is still just an idiotic decision, but they did it, and it's behind us. But I think, John Mara had to make that final call of, like, are we going to start Daniel Jones this week or not? So I think they got the okay, and now we're going to see Daniel Jones on Sunday. So, sorry, my hair probably looks freaking terrible. That's why I have a hat on right now. I'm not really a hat guy, but had to do it for this video. But yeah, I think that's it. It's kind of sad in a way, as I said. I mean, I've been banging on the table the last 2 years, like trying to get Eli Manning out of here. Now that it's happened, it's like, wow, like I can't believe it. But I think brighter days are ahead. I mean, as I said, everything still stands. We're looking for the defense to improve game by game, and we're looking for our young quarterback to improve game by game. If Daniel Jones has some rough moments, don't be too hard on the kid, guys. Like, give him a chance, and it's really all about 2020. I mean, I'm still gonna watch all these games, obviously, but it's not going to matter until 2020. Like, if we just have a rough season and win 3 or 4 games, I mean, it is what it is. But if people are getting better, then that's really all you can ask for at this point. So I never expected the Giants to be too competitive this year. It's looking like they won't be competitive at all. But if Jones comes out and plays well, we'll see. I think there's a chance the Giants will be a better football team. But it all made sense. I mean, there's no way Jones can't do what Eli Manning was doing the first couple of games. You know what I mean? Like, Eli was looking average at best and still making some mistakes, and I think Jones can do that. He proved to us in the preseason that he can check every box, and Jones isn't the type of quarterback that needs a bunch of development. Like, I think a guy like Drew Lock, for instance, like, needs more development. Like, I think a guy like him, or even Dwayne Haskins actually, no, Haskins could probably start right away, but who's a guy who, like, maybe like a Will Greer for the Panthers, like people like that. They need some time to sit on the bench, and I think a full year would benefit them greatly. But a guy like Daniel Jones, you know what you're getting from him. I mean, he's a guy who doesn't take too many shots, at least in college. I don't know if that was because he didn't trust his line or not. We saw some shots in the preseason, that's for sure. But in college, when I watched his game film, it wasn't like he was taking too many deep shots. He was definitely an underneath route type of guy, but he's more accurate than Eli Manning, I would say, at this point, so it could benefit the Giants greatly. I think once he gets Golden Tate back, that's a big upgrade for him, so we'll see what happens when Tate returns in week 5, I believe. He's a great yards after catch guy, and they seem to have some chemistry in the preseason, so we'll see what he does for them. So not sure if Sterling Shepard's playing next week. I would think he would. It's kind of rare to have a concussion last 2 weeks, but as I said, as I always say, you never know with concussions. He still has some weapons. I don't want people to say, like, this guy has no weapons. Evan Ingram's still a really good receiving tight end. Saquon Barkley is the best running back in football. You're going to have Sterling Shepard in all likelihood, who I think is I would say a really good number 2 receiver. I never bought into the narrative that he's a number 1 receiver, but a very good number 2 receiver, and the Giants have some other guys below him that can still get the job done. I mean, they're not great receivers, but they can get the job done. So And of course, obviously, they have a good offensive line, so that's really the most important thing for a young quarterback. And you watch a young quarterback like Deshaun Watson, and the line he's been given, it's terrible. And my boy Josh Rosen, the lines he's been behind are just ridiculous. So at least Daniel Jones has that going for him, and that's a positive. So yeah, I think that's it. I've been rambling enough at this point. I'm excited for it. I'm definitely excited for this new era of football, and I've wanted this change to happen since 2017. And honestly, you can kind of see it during the 2016 season that Eli Manning just did not look right, and something was going on. I don't know if he was just not. I don't know if he was like afraid to take hits anymore or something like that. He just started to look at the line and just looked like a different quarterback. So honestly, for me, it's almost been 3 years of like, hey, we need to start thinking of the future, and now it's finally here. So I mean, I can't really complain from that aspect. But as I said, it's still sad, and I'll definitely cherish the times that he brought me, the good times that he brought me as a sports fan. So that'll do it. I think hopefully the film breakdown video from the Bills will be posted tonight. I'm not positive. I think I have some stuff going on tonight, but I'll try to get it out. I'll just be up to like 2 a.m. trying to post it. But for you guys, I'll do that, of course. And yeah, it honestly all depends if NFL Game Pass has the coach's film out or not. If they don't, there's nothing I can do about it. So we'll see if they post it or not. If not, I'll definitely try to get it out Wednesday, along with my NFL prediction video Wednesday. So I'll maybe have 2 videos that day. We'll see. And that's it. I have the Giants preview coming out Friday. And I don't know if I have them winning yet against the Buccaneers. I kind of have to do some some self-evaluating here of do I think they can beat the Bucs with Daniel Jones? I think they have a better shot with Jones than Eli Manning, but we'll see. I still believe the Bucs are favorites in that game. I don't know why I said favored. I don't think that's a word, but they're still favorites in that game at home. So the Giants, they could be underdogs and go in there and win. That would be awesome. So we'll see. That'll do it. I appreciate you guys watching if you made it to the end. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at Mike_NYY. If you want me to follow you back, let me know and I'll do so. That'll do it for this video. Daniel Jones' era has begun on September 17th, 2019. Hopefully it lasts for another 15 to 20 years. Hopefully he brings us a couple of Super Bowls or maybe more than a couple of Super Bowls. I wish him the best. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.